and welcome back to my channel. I am Britt, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you probably should because I talk about geeky things, and today we're going to talk about Power Rangers with my new background. We're going to be talking about the Black Power Rangers. I am going to rank all of the Black Power Rangers. So this list is going to be ones that are specifically labeled as Black Power Rangers. I'm not including the Spirit Ranger, the Bat Ranger from Jungle Fury. I am not including the Magna Defender. I am not including the Shadow Ranger, the Alien Ranger, just because I don't tend to include the Alien Rangers because it was such a small part of the story that it's hard for me to put them anywhere on the list. And I'm not including the Phantom Ranger, which apparently are all considered, well, actually the Magna Defender wasn't even on that list. Weird. I would venture to guess the Magna Defender is a Black Ranger over the Shadow Ranger. I mean, anyway. I'm not including any of those Rangers. Anybody that I'm including is a main character labeled Black Power Ranger. So let's just get down to it. There are a total of 9 Black Power Rangers thus far, and I know another one is coming in the next season, but obviously there's a whole bunch of new colors coming in the next season, so I'm gonna have to redo this video at some point anyway. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. Number 9 on my list is Will from Power Rangers Operation Overdrive. It is no surprise that Operation Overdrive tends to be lower on my list because I find the characters to be pretty unmemorable. Even though I do go back and forth on Will and Tazon being my favorite character in Operation Overdrive, does not make the characters memorable, does not make that season very good. It's the weakest Disney season by far. I've said that many times and I will stand by it. I just feel like that season was just so bland and blah. I just wasn't into it. And if you are into it, that is more power to you. It just isn't my personal favorite, isn't my personal choice of seasons. So yeah, so that's why Will's lower on the list. He just doesn't wow me as a Power Ranger, that's all. Number 8 on my list is Jake from Power Rangers Mega Force. Obviously I already did my Green Ranger one, so you guys already know kind of how I feel about Jake because Jake went from black to green. So obviously, like I said, I've already talked about Jake. I find his relationship with Gia very problematic. I don't like the notion of chase the girl until the girl changes her mind and wants to date you. That is a very problematic storyline. Boys, please don't do that. Girls, please don't do that. Anybody, do not chase someone until they love you. It is a very problematic nature. So I have problems with his storyline for that reason. I do like his personality though, which is why he's a little bit higher than Will. I think he's a more memorable character. I do like the character itself. I do find his actor to not be a terrible actor, which is really, really helpful because Megaforce is filled with not so great acting. So it is nice to see somebody who is a bit stronger. I wouldn't say a strong actor. I wouldn't even go as far as say a good actor. Definitely very green, but at least better than some, especially in his season. But yeah, I feel like all in all, Jake is a fine character, but just lower on the list because of the problematic storyline, and also just because it's Neo Saban, what do you expect? Number 7 on my list is Danny from Power Rangers Wild Force. So Danny, I don't know. I have problems with Wild Force. I don't love Wild Force. I find Wild Force to be another blah season, and I feel like the acting was really not good. And Jack, I feel like the actor who plays Danny, I also feel like he was just so new to his acting that he wasn't able to pull off that like big loaf of a character as well as he probably could now, or as other characters or as other actors have been able to pull off that character. I don't know. I don't really care for the character as much. Number 6 on my list may get me some hate, but I know in my personal Power Rangers circle, probably not. That is Tommy from Power Rangers Dino Thunder. So out of all of the Power Rangers that Tommy has played, all of the colors that Tommy has had and all the characterizations that he has had over time, him as the Black Ranger and him as the Green Ranger have been my favorite because both of them, he has been kind of a mysterious individual. He's been kind of more mysterious, more secretive, and I honestly, out of all of the things Tommy related that I would like to honestly see, I'd like to see the character Tommy be retired at this point. However, if we end up with more Tommy, the one thing I would like to see is his journey with Smitty and Anton. I would love to see that in the comics. I would love to see how that relationship kind of happened and how the creation of Mesogog happened, how the creation of Zeltrax happened. I would just really like to see, because obviously like we're just dropped with this bomb that Tommy helped create these villains and we don't know how. So I would actually like to see that story. I think that would be really fun. Other than that, I'd like to see the character Tommy finally retire, because Tommy's such an overrated character. Such an overrated character. But I would still like to see possibly an evolution of Tommy in the comics based on the character that he is in Dino Thunder. But he does deserve to be mid-range in the Dino Thunder, or in my Black Ranger list, because I do like him as the Black Ranger, because he is a little bit more mysterious, a little more anti-hero, if you will. Number 5 on my list is Chase from Power Rangers Dino Charge. As you guys should know, Dino Charge is my favorite fully Neo Saban season. I do really like Chase. Not to mention his character is, or his actor is incredibly attractive. And that smirk that he gives in the intro, I know it's also in an episode, but that smirk he gives me in the intro, gives me personally, personally me, right? No. The smirk that he gives in the intro makes my heart aflutter. But really the character is really fun. My favorite episode of Dino Charge, I don't remember if it was Dino Charge or Dino Supercharge, but one of my favorite episodes involves Chase, the civilian story. My favorite civilian story in all of Dino Charge is Chase trying to create a Pavlova. It actually made me very curious to try a Pavlova, which I ended up getting to try, which is delicious. My mom actually made me one for my birthday. It was fantastic. But yeah, so it was so much fun, because I had never heard of a Pavlova before, and he was having such difficulty making it. And it is actually a very difficult dish to make, as my mother learned. Not in the way that it's difficult for Chase, but they had to make things a little bit more theatrical, obviously. But yeah, it's one of my favorite stories. I really like the character. I just think he's so much fun. Plus, I'm a sucker for a Kiwi accent or an Aussie accent. Like, I am just a sucker for that. So anytime the actor doesn't change their accent and they're Kiwi or they're Australian, you got me. You've got me. Ugh. Yeah, so honestly, Chase is so great, but obviously because it is Neo Saban, he has to be a little bit lower on the list. Sorry. Number 4 on my list is the OG, Zach. So the only reason Zach is as low as he is, or honestly as the OGs tend to be on my list a little bit lower, and it's only just because of the fact that they aren't given really intense characters. I feel like there are so many other Ranger characters, even just immediately following the OGs, that were given more depth to their characters. I feel like the first 5 essentially, plus Tommy, but Tommy was a little different. But the original 5 were all just character archetypes without much depth to them. So that's why Zach is as low as he is. I think Zach is so much fun. I love Walter Jones. I honestly, it kills me to put him as low as I have put him, but just because of characterization, I feel like he has to be where he's at, which makes me very sad. However, I still love him. There is absolutely nothing wrong. It's at this point in my list, it's like they're all my favorite, but if I have to rank them, this is how I rank them. Number 3 on my list is Carlos from Power Rangers in Space. I feel obviously anytime Psycho Rangers get involved, it's my favorite thing. So Carlos got to be involved in one of my favorite storylines in all of Power Rangers, which is a really cool thing. You know, obviously I love the Psycho Ranger story. Everybody knows this by now. I cried on Twitter when that sold out, and then I cried to my friends in excitement when it came back, and I bought it the second I saw it was back. So didn't miss out this time. But in all reality, I really like Carlos from, I mean, I already talked about Carlos. He was a Green Ranger as well. But I really liked Carlos as his character progressed. So we'll start with him as the Green Ranger in Turbo, and how before he was the Green Ranger in Turbo, back when he was just a civilian. And he was kind of this jerk, this pompous jerk, and then how he had to learn how to become a team player, and then became a Power Ranger, and then evolved over time. It was really the first time we got to really honestly see character development. My number 2 is really the first time we got to see genuine character development in a good way in Power Rangers, but we really got to see character development with Carlos, and by the time he was the Black Power Ranger, he was honestly rivaling Adam, which was great because that was the one thing that still frustrates me. As while I love Carlos and he is my favorite character in Turbo, and he's my favorite character, well, no, TJ's my favorite character in Space these days, but when I was a kid, he was my favorite character in Space. At the same time, he's not at Adam's level personality-wise. Like, Adam's a much better person, but but at the same time, he really got to come into his own. And he really did get to rival Adam as far as personality was concerned. And they really did a great job with him throughout the course of In Space. I just really liked how they handled his character. So there you go. Number 2 on my list is Adam from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So Adam had the opposite effect that Rocky had on me. So when Zach left and Adam replaced him, I went, cool, I like this guy. When Rocky replaced Jason, I to this day hate him. I wish I was kidding. I left him out of my Red Ranger video for a reason. When I redo it, I'll put him in there, I promise. Adam was the first time we really got to see good character development in Power Rangers, and that is honest to God true. We had him start out being this super shy guy, this super shy dude. And as time went on, by the time he ended his time as the Black Ranger and moved into Green Ranger, he had really taken on this kind of second in command kind of personality. And not only that, but honestly should have been the leader, let's be real. I don't think I'm the only person who thinks that Adam should have been the leader of the Power Rangers at some point. And he just had this really great evolution. And then for the way his character was in Space, oh, so good. You have no idea how much I love that episode. It's one of my favorite episodes in all of In Space. It's just so good. In Space is so good. Just all of In Space is so good. But he was the Black Ranger for In Space, so not the Black Ranger, but a Black Ranger in Space. He did not replace Carlos. Carlos did not replace him, and then he replaced Carlos. That is not what happened at all. But still, he was in Space. He got to be the Black Ranger again, which was fantastic. I loved that. I just absolutely love Carlos. I absolutely love Adam. I love Carlos too, but I love Adam. That's why he's number 2 on my list, because he had some of the best character development. Now, if you guys know all the Black Power Rangers and you guys have been keeping track, taking those notes, like I know you guys do during my videos, right? No, of course not. You should know who my number 1 is, and that is Dylan from Power Rangers RPM. Is anybody surprised? There is a reason I asked Danny Wing to roast me on my birthday, which he did beautifully, by the way. If you haven't seen that video, click above, because that video was fantastic. But yeah, so I love Dylan. Dylan is probably my favorite character in all of Power Rangers. If I really did the nitty-gritty, like figuring that out, I may figure that out at some point, who truly is my favorite, because there are a few on the top of the list that I think about regularly as my favorite. But Dylan is definitely up there. Obviously, if they're my favorite color, then they're one of my favorite characters. So take all of my favorite color Rangers and kind of put them into a group, and that's probably my like ideal Power Ranger team. So at the end of this, let's create my ideal Power Ranger team after I've done all of these. Let's create my perfect Power Ranger team. But yeah, so Dylan, he has the best character development, I think, in any Power Ranger season, any Power Rangers character. He has the best character development. He starts off, obviously, as this kind of loner guy who has nothing. He has no memory, no name, nothing. And he slowly starts to develop relationships and friendships with people, and gets to find out more about his past and becomes this incredible hero. And I love Dylan. I mean, I'm trying really hard not to go into spoilers because I hate spoiling things, but Dylan is such a great character that, I don't know, he's just my favorite. So here you guys go, I've ranked all of the Black Power Rangers now. Let me know in the comments below your list of your favorite Black Power Rangers. Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree with my list? Who would you move around on my list, and why? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys all next time. If you guys would like to see me ranking all of the Green Rangers, you guys can click right here. If you guys want to see all of my Power Rangers videos, you guys can click right here. You can click here to subscribe. Please do hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. And like I said, comment down below. Let me know your favorite Black Power Ranger, and hit the like button just so you know, just so I know that you're enjoying these videos. I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.